All right, everybody, it's 10 o'clock. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you all for being on time once again. I appreciate it. So today we're going to spend today's session talking about the lab work, talking about SIMnet, what we're supposed to do. And I have my special guest that's going to be my person that will be driving up here in just a minute. So yes, I will have you log into Canvas and do all that in just a minute. I'm going to go through some slides first that I put together just to talk about it first, and then we're all going to do this together and do this session together. So a few things. So if you have not logged in yet, please do. So to get to SIMnet, it's pretty easy. You log into your computers, you open a web browser. Google Chrome is preferred. Some of you might use Edge, that's fine, I'm okay with that. You go to Canvas, the link is on the top of the Phoenix College homepage. If you don't know where that's at, it says Canvas. Click on your class, and then click on McGraw-Hill. You probably have to log into Canvas too, but that's fine. And then click on your class once you get in, and then click on McGraw-Hill SIMnet LTIA, which we will go over this in just a moment. As a reminder, you remember this from Tuesday, right? The little pie chart with all the points on it, I hope you do. So SIMnet is 53% of the overall grade in this class. So I may have mentioned I'm a data analyst, so by heart for many, many years. And what I've noticed is the people that fail this class, guess what part of the class they don't get hardly any points in? It's SIMnet. They don't do the SIMnet work. So keep in mind, this is another reminder, SIMnet consists of 3 components. The sim books, those are the tutorials that you're supposed to do on your own. That was one of the things I said that you were responsible for on Tuesday. The projects, those are the ones we're going to work on in class together. And the lessons, they're like tutorial, they're just like the sim books, but they're much, much shorter, and those you will also do on your own. So the only piece of SIMnet that you will do in class are the projects. And the projects are worth a lot of points. They really do add up. So as long as you show up, as long as you're getting most of the points in the projects, you don't have to get them all. But there's something it's probably going to bother you, I guarantee each and every one of you this. You're going to miss a point at some point during a project. You're going to go, what did I do wrong? So we're going to talk about the feedback screen today that you're going to see in your projects. You're going to get a nice preview of everything, and you're actually going to do some work today. So you're going to get to see it all today. Yeah.
Are we going to be doing presentations in the class? No?
Heck no. You know how much time that would take? We'd lose like 3 class periods. The other 105 classes make you do that, but not me. Okay. Just take some lessons from me when you see me present stuff, okay? That's all. Just take some mental notes. Or you can write it down. It's your choice. And do not say a lot. That's my biggest pet peeve of all. And you know, that's another one. I don't like that either. You gotta be able to pause sometimes. Unless you see me just totally pause for a minute, then you're like, what's going on? Sometimes I do that on purpose just to see what reactions I can incite. Okay, moving on. So again, just a reminder, with the sim books and the lessons, you get unlimited attempts, so you can get it wrong 15,000 times. I think I had one student get it wrong I think 50 or 60 times, and they still got the credit for it when they finally finished it. So the tutorials, you can get all the points, no problems. So with the sim books and lessons, these are tutorials. There are 3 things you will see as you go through this today, and I'm going to have my driver here, Trey, come on up and do this. So there's the show me, the guide me, and the let me try. You're going to see those 3 buttons as you go through the tutorials. So show me, so if you already know how to do something, you're just going to shoot to the let me try, because you notice that last bullet point on the slide here? You only get the points for the let me try piece. So if there's something you already know how to do, because if you've used Word or Excel or any of these programs before, you probably know what to do in some instances. So again, we will walk through this together in just a moment. I'm just giving you this as a preface to what we're going to do. But the show me, if you absolutely don't know how to do it, the computer will show you how to do it. The guide me is where the computer shows you and tells you where to, tells you where to click. That's the guide me piece. And the let me try, though, some of you are going to be like, I'm not going through the show me's and the guide me's. I don't get any points for that. Just give me all the let me tries. I'll show you how to do that also for my people that love to breeze through things. I know I got people in here that love to breeze through things. Can't tell me there's not at least one of you. Okay, unless you like reading books. If you love reading books, I'm gonna show you where that piece is today too. But me, I don't know, I read a lot, so I don't think I like reading all the time. Anyway, the projects. So I'm gonna talk about the projects today as well. You're gonna see what that looks like. No, you are not going to fully open the files for the projects. We will do that next Thursday. We'll do that a week from today when we're working on the project in the class. So these are the ones that you're gonna be in here with me. I'm gonna walk you through all the steps. I'm gonna tell you what the steps mean. I'm probably gonna give you way too much information, even outside of the project. I'm gonna give you even more information. As I said in my introduction for my bio, I did a lot of corporate training. I mean, a lot of corporate training using all of these programs. So the funny thing is that I didn't even have to rehearse what I was gonna do before I walked in and trained people. I just walked in and did it. So I mean, they were all like, wow, that was really good. How do you know all this stuff? I'm like, I use these programs all the time, so it's not like I haven't been doing it. So I will walk you all through all the steps. Some of the steps are very, I don't want to say misleading, but some of the steps really confuse a lot of students. So I'm going to make sure that you get through those. There are some steps you won't have to do. Like they make you do the work and then they make you undo all the work. For those steps, we will just not do the step. We will just skip it. Because if you're going to undo everything that you did, why are you doing it? No? Okay. You have 10 tries on every project. No one has ever needed that many, but if you need more than 10 tries on a project, who do you contact? Okay. All right. Every project starts with a start file, so you are not just firing up Word from scratch. You're not doing that. There's always content in every one of these start files, and it also has your name, your electronic signature on it when you open it. So it's got your name automatically on it. So when we work with the projects, I'm going to mention this in a few moments, whatever file name it gives you when you download the start file, you're saving it with that file name. You're not changing file names at all in this class. You're not going to change one file name in this class. You're just going to save it with your name. It's already got your name on it. You're submitting it. Okay? That's the one you're going to submit for every project. If you keep that in mind, we always submit the one with our name on it. Okay? Don't submit anything else. All right? Just need you to keep that in mind. That's what we're doing. Okay? Sometimes there will be projects where you have what is called a resources file that you also have to use. Like for example, the fourth Word project has an image that you have to put into a Word document. So it's going to be an additional file that you will have to download when we get to the fourth Word project. But again, the fourth Word project doesn't happen for a month. If you check your schedule, the fourth Word project isn't for another month. But don't worry, when we get closer to the date, we get closer to the project, I will remind you that, hey, our next project, you have to download 2 files instead of 1. And we're going to be going through essentially the same things at the start of every project. We're going to download the file that we have to open, we're going to open the file, and we're going to work with the file. That's all we're going to do with the projects. That's it. Now, there are a couple projects that require you to download multiple resource files, and they're going to put that into what is called a compressed or zipped folder, and you have to take the files out of the folder to be able to use them. When that happens, I will walk you through, for the people that don't know how to do it, I will walk you through how to get the files out so you can use them. And the last point here is something I haven't mentioned in any other semester other than this one, and that is I try to, people will have questions, I know, as we go through the steps. Now, if you're sitting next to somebody and you don't know, what did Nick just say to do? Please ask the person near you so that I don't have to completely stop the lecture. I did that this summer. If you don't have access to those videos, but I would have to completely stop flow for 5 minutes to answer questions. Now, I will, from time to time during the project, go to the middle of the room and look at all your computers from the back of the room just to see where you're at. But I'm going to go nice and slow through the steps. We have 75 minutes for every project that we do in here. Some of them are not going to take more than 45, 50, and then you're done. Then it's you can either hang out and do another tutorial or something, or you can leave. Okay? But I'm gonna be here no matter what. So to not stop the flow of what we're doing for the whole class, if you need to, like, if you just missed like a little thing and you want to ask your neighbor, please feel free to ask your neighbors. They'll answer your question. Okay? So you don't got to worry about that. All right? Okay. Morning. Any seat? Please log in to Canvas if you know how to do it. All right. You're just in time too. This is great. Oh, would you like a schedule?
Yes, please.
That's mine. Ah, here we go. Oh, what's your name?
Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I know who you are now. Okay, thank you. I will mark you down. No, I don't take attendance. And if you missed anything, it's all on the YouTube channel. Okay, so we live stream and we record, so it's all out there now. Of course, now all my instructors, guess what they all want me to do this semester? They want me to post my assignments that I'm working on as a student to that same YouTube channel. So if y'all see weird stuff this semester, that's why. It's not your class. I'll make sure that I title it with something else. But just warning all of you, there's probably going to be a mix of CIS105 stuff and me as a student stuff. So if you see those videos, you'll be like, wow, he actually does student stuff. Yes, okay. All right, so now it's time to go through it. So people online, people watching this online, I'm going to stop my camera. There we go, now they won't see you. And of course, I'm gonna have to mute this screen for a moment while you log in, because I'm not gonna, all right. Okay, fine, save it. Oh, hey, look, I borrowed from here. Okay. Hey, look, you can see all my files. Okay, now we gotta get you logged in. Right, if you don't know how to get to Canvas, once again, you fire up your web browser, you go to Canvas, it's at the top of the screen. I'm gonna mute the screen so you can log in now. Not like I haven't done this before. Let me mute this too while we're at it, so they don't see any of your credentials. There we go. Here, bring the chair. Bring the chair. It's your time. It's your time to. So there you are. Sign in. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. The people that you have watching online, are they like past students or?
You know, we're at 36 followers now.
Awesome.
We're getting there. We get 14 more. We get 2 weeks of saved. But I uploaded it to the YouTube. I put the link in the Getting Started module, so you have that too. But the answer is, who knows who's watching it? Right? I have no clue. I just see numbers of. At the end of Twitch, I get an email that says how many people actually watched it, and we actually had multiple viewers on Tuesday. So I was pretty thrilled with that. But
That's cool.
then I saw who followed. It's okay. I know who followed. I got that. I get all the notifications. It's fine. Of course, last night I had to go and stream for 3.5 hours. That was fun. Did get some followers out of that too, but you know. We're over 500 now, so I gotta have my 500th follower party at some point. So if I come in the next morning and I don't look like myself, that's probably when I did it. Oh, hi. Okay, you're probably okay. Go ahead and go into your class there. Yep. And then when you're in your class, yep. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back on now. Oh, here I gotta use the mouse too. All right. So here we are. Let me just turn the display back on. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, just don't click on the grades because that shows your name and stuff. All right. So here we are. So to get into SIMnet, because that's all we're doing today is SIMnet. Go ahead and click on McGraw-Hill SIMnet LTIA on the left side of your screen, please. Yes, I'm being nosy. I know everybody's not there yet. Oh, cool, your name is on there. Okay, people at home, I'm muting that again. Here, I'm muting that piece again. We'll start this up when, there we go, okay. Until we get past all your personal stuff, then we'll, okay. So anyway, guess what we're clicking here, everybody? I know you know the answer. It's create account. So we're all going to click create account. Ooh, what happened there? Hold on. What happened? That's neat. Oh, you go to the other tab here. There you go. Then click on McGraw-Hill. There you go. Yeah. And then go ahead and click on create account. Cool. Okay, so let me talk about this screen really quick, everybody. So it does say 21-day trial period. So if you did not get the textbooks yet, you have 3 weeks starting today. So yes, I will be reminding you as we get closer to that 3-week period that your trial is about to expire. So for those that are not buying the books today, you click on Get Courtesy Access on the right side of the screen. If you're buying it today, you can click Buy Online, which is on the left side of the screen. Or if you got the books at the bookstore, yeah, go ahead and put your registration code in the middle. If you bought the books from the bookstore and you have the card, go ahead and put in your registration code. I don't really care if they see your registration code. I don't care if they see your registration.
Is it the one that's for 182?
182? When did they do that?
There's a few.
It should be
prices.
10 something.
101 or 108?
E-commerce. That doesn't look right. Oh, wait, what? What's that one down there? Complete custom PC biz depth. What the hell? Oh, this is new. I haven't seen this. It's supposed to be for like $101, but if you check it out, it only says Word, it only says Excel.
Complete, yeah. So just buy it from the bookstore.
That is so weird. I'll get an answer to that for those that are trying to buy it. Scroll up. So go back to products. Okay. So you clicked buy online and it took you to that?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Okay, that's why I haven't seen this yet. I don't trust anything that I see there in that list either.
Okay.
I will ask which option. So we're gonna click on products and go ahead and click on you get your courtesy access. Yeah, so if you're trying to buy it online, sorry, click on products there on the, oops. Now you're supposed to click back on products. The little products tab, right? Yeah, and click, get your courtesy access. Yeah, don't try to buy it today. Yay, okay, very good. Okay, so if you got the courtesy access, you should have like a little tiny window that has like a blue button, right? I don't know what it says, but go ahead and click that blue button, and you should see 4 squares. All right, I'm not moving on until everybody has 4 squares. What is that? You got the 4 squares? You got the 4 squares?
Oh, yeah, I got it all.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. You're already there. All right, love it. Okay. All right. Yes, I like to be Snoopy like that. That's what I do. Okay, now I'm going to turn the screen back on. Don't you love live streaming? Live streaming is so fun. There's so much to it. Production value. I'm all about the production value. Okay. So here it is, everybody. Pretty self-explanatory. Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, they're all in order. You notice that? So this is the screen. So let me talk about a couple things first before we start. At the top of the screen, I'm going to have you show them this too. In the upper right corner, you're going to notice 3 links and then your name. So for those of you that got the courtesy access, well, I get the question answered which one of those you're supposed to click to buy the thing. When it's time for you to make your purchase, you're going to click, don't do this right now. You'll click on your name when it's time to make the purchase in the upper right corner, and it will take you to the appropriate screen. But there's 3 other links there. There's assignments, library, and grades. Right now you're in assignments. Go ahead and click on the library link up there, everybody. I want you to take a look at this. So everybody that was asking about the book, here's all the different books that they give you access to. Scroll down. Now don't freak out that it says Computing Essentials 2021, everybody. It's okay. I know 2023 is the correct version. But believe me, if you see 2021 here, you're fine. Go ahead and click on your Computing Essentials 2021 book. You'll see it there. It's that one. So, remember that little remember that thin book that I was showing you Tuesday? The thinner book, not the massive book, but the thin book. So this is the thin book. This is the 13 chapters. So if you got 2023, purchasing it from the bookstore, don't worry about that. People who have got this, 2021, I know there's a difference. I've talked to people about this already. You notice that it says 2019 content, which is even more strange. Okay? I'm telling you, the chapters have not changed in a really long time. I can show you the 2008 book. It's the same 13 chapters. 2008 book, you're like, you have one of those? Yes, I have one of those. I have Computing Essentials 2008. Same 13 chapters. Scary stuff, right? So I'll be lecturing on all these chapters on Tuesdays, as I mentioned before. So you all have a schedule. You all know that that's when I'm going to do it. But if you need the book in electronic format, this is it. No, I'm not asking you to go into it. I'm just showing you that it's here. There's other books there in your electronic library. I'm not expecting you to need any of the other ones. You're welcome to go do exploring if you want. That's up to you. But this is the only electronic book in the library that I truly care about, is this one right here, if you need it. Most people just sit back and they don't need it when I lecture. They just kick back and relax, which is what you should be doing. Which is what you should be doing. You should not be like, no, that's bad. That's bad for you. So anyhow, that's where it's located if you need it. Okay, next, go ahead and click on grades up in the upper right corner. So this is so that all of us don't have to memorize how much everything is worth. So when you start turning in work, your grades are going to show up in two different places. It's going to show up in your Canvas gradebook, and it's also going to show up here. Okay? No, the assignments will not duplicate. There will not be duplication of grades. But if you want to check how you did on something, or let's say you missed a couple points on a project and you didn't want to bother me for some reason. You're not bothering me, by the way. But you felt like you didn't want to bother the professor for something, and you want to go back to it and try to make your corrections. This is where you would go to find that. You can go there to find that assignment, go in, make your corrections, submit it again. Because the good news is when you submit something, it's automatically saved to the cloud. It's automatically saved there. So you can access it anytime you want to try and get more points. Okay? So I'm just letting you know it's here, okay? So if you're wondering where things are. Okay, let's go back to assignments. I'm done up there. Click on assignments. Now you all noticed that when you went into SIMnet, it opened up in its own tab on your web browser. It's in a separate tab, and that's on purpose. So we don't confuse that with Canvas. This is separate from Canvas. But you're getting to it through Canvas. So next time you log in and you click McGraw-Hill SIMnet LTIA, it will take you right to this screen. You don't have to jump through any more hoops. You're already done. You're here for the next 3 weeks for those of you that haven't purchased the materials yet. As for the online purchasing of the materials, I will get clarification on that today. And we will talk about that. In the past, when I was running it, there was one button. That was it. You click the button, you buy it. I guess it doesn't work like that anymore. Okay, I'm learning all kinds of neat stuff today. Well, let's get to it, shall we? Let's click on Word, everybody. Okay. Oh, what do you notice about the due dates?
They're all the same?
They are all the same, but what's the difference?
December 15th.
They are all the same, but what's the difference between them?
Times are 1 minute apart.
They're all 1 minute apart. There we go. I love it. See, I told you I was going to ask you a lot more questions. Appreciate that. So, they're all 1 minute apart. So, keep this in mind. If you're at the end of the semester and you're trying to cram to get whatever work you need to turn in, they're all going to start shutting down 1 minute after each other. So, yes. And I told you on Tuesday, everything is open for the whole semester. All of your work is open. It doesn't close until December 15th. However, if you're in class, consistently, and you're doing all your work, you really shouldn't have to worry about any of that. Some of you aren't even going to be at the final. Some of you are going to be like, I got my 1,260 points. Nick said don't show up anymore. Which I'll send you a congratulatory message at that. All right, so here's what I talked about earlier. SimBooks, projects, and lessons. Let's go ahead and click on that first SimBook, everybody, Word Chapter 1. Word Chapter 1. for our sim book. All right, yes, please scroll down just a little bit more. Stop. Okay, that's perfect. All right, so there's a tasks column. What do you notice about the tasks column?
There's some are labeled none.
Some are labeled none. That's the first thing you notice, pretty much. Yeah, but there are some that also say what?
There's a number.
Yes. And guess what the numbers are?
How many assignments there are?
How many points you can get for each one of those tasks. So, I said this on Tuesday. Do I want you doing anything that's worth? No, I don't want you doing things that say none. So, I'm going to have us do this the long way first. And then after we do this the long way, going through what a chapter looks like, then we'll go through it the fast way. So everybody go ahead and click on that very first link that says chapter overview. And here is the first page of the really big book. Remember the really big book that y'all saw on Tuesday? If you bought the books, you know the really big book, right? This is the really big book. So these are what the pages look like. You can scroll down, everybody, if you want to see what the rest of the page looks like. Most people aren't going to want to read the page. I know you're like me. You don't want to read through all this stuff. So for those of you that don't want to read, there's a button on the right side of the screen that looks like an arrow. You see the arrow on the right side of the screen? Looks like that. You can click that to go to the next page. Oh, wait, shoot, okay. I hope you only jumped one page. Everybody please click that right arrow once again. Show them where that's at, Trey. Yeah, right there. That arrow right there. Okay. So please click that right arrow on the right side of your the screen. The right arrow over there in the middle. There you go. All right. So if you're in this book, if you're in this just reading and because you like to read, anytime you see student learning objective at the top of the screen, SLO, there's usually something you have to do on that page that's worth points. So let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit until you see, there we go. Show me, guide me, and let me try. I mentioned this a moment ago. So sometimes students come to me and go, well, how did I miss one of the let me tries? Sometimes one of those let me tries are all the way at the extreme bottom of the page. And if you don't get to it and you just don't do it, you're like, so that's where my 1 point was that I still need to get. So some people do go through that. So please keep this in mind. If you're going through the tutorial and you're like, how am I missing one of them? Just go back to that one and do it. It's not too bad. Just go back to the one and finish it. You can do that anytime you want, okay? So I talked about, we're not going to click on the show me or the guide me. So I talked about show me. Show me is if you don't know how to do whatever they're talking about, you're going to have the computer show you. If you want the computer to guide you through it, you click guide me and it will show you where to click. But for those of you that don't want to do any of that, we're going to click on let me try. Click on let me try. Everybody click on let me try. I'm going to give you a point right now. So, this is the SimBook interface. So a couple things I want to point out to you all. Yes, I'll come over there and do it. I try not to favor this side too much. You're going to notice that I probably do for some reason. Don't ask me why. I will come back over there in a minute. So, in the upper left corner of the screen, you will see skill 1 of 20. So that means you have 20 of these to finish for 20 points. They're all 1 point apiece. The steps is the steps within the skill. So you have to complete both steps to finish the first skill. Now here's another thing. What if I've never seen Word before, ever in my life? Now keep in mind, this is not Word, this is a simulation or a tutorial, okay? What if I don't know what the backstage view is? There's something next to my hand that I can click. Show hint. Show hint. Do it. Okay, now I'm coming back over here. Okay, so if I do not know where to click, I can click show hint and it will tell me where to click. Now, I'm going to talk about this today. I'm going to talk about this next Thursday. And after that, I'm probably not going to talk about it again. Well, the third chapter lecture, I think I'm going to talk about it once again. But here we go. These are called tabs: file, home, insert, etc. Those are tabs. Underneath the tabs, we call this whole area underneath the tabs that goes all the way across, we call this thing the ribbon. Inside the ribbon, you'll notice groups of commands. You'll notice clipboard. You see it up here. It's clipboard, font, paragraph, etc. So when I say to go to that group, when I go through a project, that's when you're going to move your mouse over to that group, and I'm going to tell you which button to click on. The commands are inside each group. These little tiny things, don't click on this, but these little tiny things that are in the corner of the group with the little arrows, we used to call those dialog box launchers because they would open up a dialog box, but now we just call them launchers. So that's what we call them. So when I say click the launcher for this, you're going to go to that group and click the launcher. Okay, that's that little tiny button in the corner, these little tiny buttons in the corner of these groups, these buttons, these ones here, these ones that look like this. These are launchers. Okay, again, when I talk about the groups, clipboard, font, paragraph, styles, etc. Those are groups. Yes, I'm going to talk about this in a lecture, in the 3rd chapter lecture, in the concepts. I'm going to talk about this a few times. And then next Thursday, of course, when we do the first project together, hopefully you will know what those things are when I ask you to click on them. Okay? All right, so where's the file tab? It's the word what? It's the word file. Go ahead and click it. Okay. Congratulations, the first skill is done. Okay, so what should we click now? Next. All right, so you're not going to believe this, but it says create a new blank document. So which one of these big icons should I click on? The one that says what? Blank document, you're so good. Go ahead and click on blank document. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. 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 So you're going to click on the big thing that says blank document. Okay, so now we're here. So now there's a couple buttons that you will notice. You will notice the 2 buttons. You will notice continue and you will notice close. I hope that you know that if you click close, don't click anything yet. If you click close, it's going to take you back to the page that you were on in the book where it says show me, guide me, let me try. Go ahead and click continue, everybody. All right, so check it out. When you clicked continue, what do you notice in the upper right corner of your screen? Let me try is not highlighted. Which one is highlighted?
Show me.
Show me. So my people that love to bust through work and just want to do all the let me tries, which one are you clicking on up there? You're trying to go clicking the let me tries. So theoretically, you can blast through all 20 of these probably in like record time for some of you. Me, I think it took me like less than a couple minutes to get through all 20. So, of course, then again, I did this whole 16-week class in less than, I think, 7 hours one semester. I took it every 10 years too. I finished that damn class in 7 hours. My wife would go, how are you getting 3 credits in 7 hours? I'm like, I can teach this stuff. That's what my one teacher said. He said, you should be teaching this stuff. And guess what happened? The next semester, I started teaching this class. So, yeah, it's not, for me, I've been using these programs for like decades. You can blow through it in a heartbeat. But for those of you that are in here and you know it's required, and you just want to get the tutorial out of the way, you're welcome to do it this way. You're welcome to click the let me try for me, Trey. You gotta click on the actual, okay, there you go. And that's how you get to the next one. So please keep in mind, everybody, here's the other thing that's going to frustrate you with the sim books. I always say click show hint, because you're gonna think that you're clicking the right thing, because sometimes you are gonna click the right thing, like what we would do in real life, but that's not how McGraw-Hill wants you to do it. So you gotta click, if that starts frustrating you and you're like, well, I'm doing what it's saying, and I'm probably gonna watch you and go, yeah, you're doing it right. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. If there's one that like really frustrates you and you just can't get past it, come to class early and ask me. Just come to class early, fire it up, and ask me your question. I'll show you how to get through it. It's not too bad, I promise it's not too bad. But anyway, this is all stuff you gotta do where? Outside of class. You're supposed to do this outside class. All right, I showed everybody what I wanted to show them today with that. So in the upper right corner above show me, there's an exit button. just above the show me in the upper right corner. Let's go ahead and click that. It should take you back to just above the word show me. There's an exit button in the upper right corner. All right, so that takes you back there. Oh yeah, you know we're exiting out of there. All right, so to exit, so go ahead and scroll up, or actually don't scroll up. Now we're going to get out of the sim book entirely. So to get out of the sim book entirely, in the upper right corner above, I'm going over here, everybody, so you can see this. Just above the blue audio button, there's an exit button right here. Go ahead and click that exit button. And of course, what are we doing? We're exiting. I love the people that click cancel. Okay. All right, so anyway, I need you all to humor me one more time, okay? Everybody click on that first link again down in the list there for your sim book one more time. Yeah, click on chapter overview again. All right, so you know how I told you about that right arrow button? Let's go ahead and click that right arrow button. All right, so you know that on these pages there's something to do, right? Okay, let's go to the next page. Next page, everybody. If it's slow loading, don't worry, we're just going through the pages. We're not doing any actual work. It'll get there. Okay, so usually there's something to do on these pages, right? Next page. Okay, there's another one. Okay, next page. Stop. One of my biggest pet peeves as an instructor for this college over the last 20 years is watching people do these. Do you know how many points this is worth? So what do I want you to do with these? Skip it! Next page. There's some more work. Okay, keep going. Next page. There's some more work. Next page. Stop. What do we do with these? Skip them. Ever catch you doing a pause in practice ever in real life, I will whisper to you, what are you doing? I would see that in the labs and go, what are these people doing? It's worth no points. And they would literally sit there for an hour and a half in the lab and get no points. And just get frustrated, bless you, and just get frustrated at, bless you again. And just get frustrated at the computer. I'm like, your instructor didn't tell you it's worth no points? I feel bad. That's why we were doing this right now. Okay, next page. Next page again. Okay, one more page. What do we do with pause and practices? And one last page, and stop when you get to this one. So, if you're a person that likes to go through all the pages like we just did, I just showed you that, this is where the work ends. Everything after this point, like there's multiple choice stuff, there's other weird stuff and weird projects, you do none of that. You do none of it at all. When you see chapter summary, you are done. So let's go ahead and exit out now. Let's exit out now again. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, now when you get back to this next screen, scroll down a little bit more for me. Scroll down. Stop. So there you go. That's how you know that what I just told you is right. Notice that column where there's tasks, where Trey's hovering over right now? They all say, oh, scroll down. Scroll down, Trey. Okay, thank you. Stop. Maybe up just a touch. Oh, one more. All right, there. So you notice that the points stop here, then all of a sudden everything says none. So I get questions asked, even though we do this session, somebody always asks me, do I have to do the multiple choice stuff? Which you notice it's in the list here. What is that, number 15? But it says it's worth no points. So, again, I'm going to remind you all, if it says none, Nick doesn't really care. And you shouldn't probably either. Now, if you want to go bonkers and do other stuff, that's great. That's on your time. My goal is to get you through this in the best way that I can and give you the most information possible. So I don't want you wasting your time on the rest of that. When you are done, you are done. If you scroll back up to the top, everybody, you will notice that there is a progress bar. It says 5% complete in this case because we only finished one skill. So again, you can finish the tasks, leave it, come back. It will keep track of what you're doing. So yes, but here's the other thing too. Because you notice that for that first skill we had 2 tasks. If you only did the first one and then you left it, no points. You got to finish both tasks to get the point for the skill. Okay. So if there's like one that has like 3 tasks and you get 2 done and then you have to leave or go do something, it's not going to save those 2 tasks. You're going to have to do them over again. Okay. So just make sure that when you're doing this, you have time to go through it. All right. Okay, now let's go back to assignments, top of the screen. That's a sim book, everybody. That's what the sim books are. Click on Word again for me. Make this easy on ourselves. All right. So here's what I'd like you all to do. Next Thursday, we're going to be doing our first project. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to tell you all to go into the project, but you don't download any files or anything. We will do that next Thursday for the project. So go ahead and click on that first project. First blue box. Okay, so the reason I have you do this is because who's going to give you the best practices? Who's going to tell you the best practices? So click I acknowledge that I have read the best practices. There, that's over. Okay, but you know what the problem still is with this screen? It still says what on it?
Best practice.
Best practices. So you will notice there are 3 links above the word SIMnet Project Best Practices, and the one we want is the instructions. So everybody please click the instructions link above the words. There we go. Above the words Best Practices. So congratulations. You now no longer have to, it's the instructions button above the words. It's right over here. Boop. Yes, I make sound effects too. It's okay. All right. So now that you have done that, guess what? You don't have to see best practices again the whole next 16 weeks. Now it's going to default to instructions every time you do a project. Don't you love that? Some people go, how do I get out of the screen? I'm like, it's the best practices screen. Your teacher didn't tell you to click the button? Anyway, there you have it, everybody. Now we're here. So everybody out here, I just want you to not download the start file today, okay? But guess who I'm going to have download the start file? One person. Everybody else just watch. So go ahead and click start file. So when we do the project on Thursday, yep, it's going to show up in the upper right corner of your screen like that. You're just going to click on the file to open it. Everybody else do not do this. You're just watching. Now I have students that like click it 1,000 times and have like 1,000 copies of the file, which is horrible. Do not do that. You only have to click 1 time, okay? And some other things I need to mention. I'm going to say this next Thursday. I'm going to remind you next Thursday. When I ask you to click something, it is your left mouse button, and you click 1 time. If I ask you to double click something, it's always the left mouse button, and we click how many times? Very good. When I ask you to right click something, which button do we use on the mouse? The right button. There's never a right double click. There's only click, double click, and right click. That's all we're going to be, when I talk about those things, that's what I mean. Okay? Now every project, you will notice what you see on the screen here. There's always a button that we have to click on that yellow bar, and that's the Enable Editing button. Go ahead and click on that for me, Trey. Thank you. If you do not click that button, you do not see all the tabs and the ribbon and all the commands that are up at the top of the screen. I already went over this with you before. You're going to hear me talk about it several times again. Again, the tabs are file, home, insert, etc. Those are the tabs. The ribbon that goes all the way across the screen under the tabs, that's the ribbon. And then you have clipboard, font, paragraph styles, etc. for your groups. Now every tab is going to have a different set of groups of commands in them. Don't worry, we're going to go through this very slowly, okay? And yes, when you get to this project, all those red underlined words, guess what you get to do to them? You get to correct all the spelling and all the grammar. We're going to be doing that in this document. In the old days, when I didn't do sessions like this, I had students try to develop this from scratch, like from nothing, and try to like cheat it. And then when you send it, guess what happens? I talked about this in the syllabus. Talked about academic misconduct before. If you try to like create this on your own and submit the file, it's going to notify me. And I'm gonna go, what a weird looking document. And then I know that if it didn't come from somebody else, like if it doesn't have somebody else's name on it and you submitted it, I know that you created it or tried to create it. So yeah, that triggers that too, just to let you know. I didn't say that Tuesday, but I'm mentioning it now. All right, Trey, can we go back to Chrome then? Yeah, okay. So here are the instructions, everybody. Now, a couple of things. When you see me have the instructions up here on the screen, you have two monitors. You're welcome to have the instructions on one side and your Word document on the other. My only advice on that is, if you're going to go through the instructions on one screen, it's basically going to keep Word on the other screen, but it's basically going to like make it not active. So you have to go back over to the other screen and click on it for Word to be active again. So if you're going to do that, you can, but I'm just warning you, if you try to save Word and you're actually in this screen trying to save Word, it's going to try to like save it as a web page or give you some weird dialog box. So I'm just letting you know that when I'm up here, I use what is called Alt-Tab to go between, like this. I do Alt-Tab to go between here and here, and here, and here, and here. Alt-Tab, let go. Alt-Tab, let go. And that's how I go back and forth between. So if you hold down Alt and push Tab once and then let go of Alt, it works like that. You go between screens. So you're going to see me do that a lot this semester. I do it really fast, because that's what I do. Anyway, if you want the instructions to be bigger, Trey, can you click on this little plus over here? So you're going to see me click the plus, because people online will need to see, like if you want to go back and watch what we did for the project, I like to make the instructions really big, so that on the stream, the instructions look bigger for the people that are watching. Okay, so you can do that too. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. Go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. So keep going. Skills covered in this project. Okay, steps. Go down a little bit farther. Okay, stop, please. Okay, so in the projects, the first few steps. Number 1, you're going to download the file. Number 2, you're going to open the file. Number 3, you're going to click the Enable Editing button that he did on that yellow bar that you saw a moment ago. Everybody, we are not renaming the files that we are using. Okay? We're not renaming any files in this class. You're going to download it, and that's the file you're turning in. So Control S, which I will talk about Control S a lot in this class, I'm going to talk about all kinds of control shortcuts. Because yes, do I want you to be control freaks by the time you are done with this class? Yes, I want you to be control freaks by the time you are done with this class. That's what I call everybody, including myself. So, using the control key to do all your work for you, so you don't have to click and click and click and click and click and click and click. So we're going to go over a lot of shortcuts in this class, but Control S is probably the most important out of all of them because that saves your file. Your files will always be saved to the downloads folder on these computers. These computers have a downloads folder. That is where all of your documents are going to be saved. Every time we do an assignment, that's where they're going to be saved. Now, there is some good news too, which I'll show you in a minute. Like if you're like halfway through a project and you're in here and you have to leave for some strange reason, and you want to know how to like save it permanently so you can go back to it and finish the project another time, I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But anyway, here are some instructions. Let me just go over these. So usually the first couple of steps, it's like step 1 and 2. I talked about opening the file. It does say change the project file name if you are directed to do so. We're never going to change that file name. So that step is pretty much done already. Now you will notice 3A, where we will end up selecting the entire document. Then we're going to do a whole bunch of other stuff to it. And if you scroll down, you will notice that there are figures on these pages on what you're supposed to actually do. But I would definitely go through the lettered steps like A, B, C, D, E, F, etc. There is one project where we get all the way, I think, to Y, letter Y for the steps. So there are going to be a couple that are like crazy long. But we're going to go through each and every one of these one step at a time when we go over this on Thursday, okay? Go ahead and scroll back up to the top. So I'm only going to have Trey do this. So you will notice that there's upload and submit. You see download, upload, and submit. So Trey, go ahead and upload your file. All right, so something I want to show you here. It's in your downloads folder. So it's in the downloads folder on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll see downloads, yep. So for the rest of you, when you're saving your files, it's all going to be here under downloads. I'll go ahead and double click your file. Okay, now hold up here. Okay, so once you're going to upload it, you're presented with two options. You're either not ready or you are ready. So here's the difference between the two. Remember what I just said? If there was an emergency, you're halfway done with the project, Nick, I gotta leave. You're gonna come back up here to the upload part, and you're gonna click, no, I'm not ready. Go ahead and click, no, I'm not ready, just to show them what happens. Then your file is automatically saved right here. So if you go to another computer, and you click on your file, it downloads it for you, and you can resume the project. Of course, while you're watching my video, right? Okay. So that you know what to do the rest of the way out. It's my new level of service I'm providing this semester, live and recorded. Okay, if you missed us Tuesday, we have live and recorded. So if you miss a session, we got YouTube. All right, so anyway, go ahead and click upload my file again, Trey. Only Trey. Go ahead and double click your file again. You're like, you're not gonna make him really do this, are you? Yes, submit the file. So at the end of the class, we are all going to submit the file, and hopefully we get a good grade, right? Oh, 0 out of 31, that's awful. This poor guy, he's like, he's really making me do this? Yes, now I'm coming over here. Because yours is all the way over there, I just have to go right here for, so when you get something incorrect on a project, I don't want you to pay attention to any of this. Because it does say, notice, this is not the file you submitted. Don't pay any attention to this. I only want you to pay attention to these. Trey, can you click on the number 3 right here for me? So when you get something wrong, you're going to click on the number, and here it's going to give you the feedback on what you got incorrect. So in this case, it's telling us that the paragraph has line spacing set to 1 point instead of 1.2. So we were supposed to do 1.2. We didn't do that, so it's still at 1. So we got it wrong. So it's going to tell you, it's going to give you that feedback. Now I'm just going to tell you, if you did the project, I've had this happen. If you do the project and you submit it and you get this grade, I'm going to ask you to check which file you submitted. Because sometimes people download the same file 2 or 3 times and they submit the one they didn't do. Then I have to come over and go, no, you didn't need this file, you need to submit this file. Oops. So then they submit it again, and they get it right. I've also had times in this class where the instructor knows he got it all correct, and I submitted it, and I got 75%. And the whole class goes, and then people start giggling or laughing. I'm like, wait a minute, and then I resubmit it again, and I get 100, and I'm like, knew it. I will miss points on occasion. Usually it's like I miss 1 point usually per class. There's always one step that I just like, we just go past it. And then I go, oops, I was supposed to have you all do that. And then we all go back and we do it again. So here's the other thing too, when you're submitting these, my advice is, I'm gonna say this next Thursday, keep your Word file open, in case you get something wrong when you submit it, so that you can just go right back to the Word document, make the corrections, save it, and upload it again. We can do this for Word, we can do this for Excel, we can do this for PowerPoint. Access works differently. Now, I'll talk about databases a lot in this class, because I've spent so many years dealing with databases. The database is locked when you have it open, so when we get to Access, we actually have to close the database before we submit it for our assignments, okay? But everything else, I'm going to remind you, leave it open unless you get 100%. And if you get 100%, you can just close it, okay? All right. Well, I was going to talk about, let's go back to assignments up at the top of the screen. So that's all I wanted to talk about for this. Let's go back to Word one more time. So for the rest, for everybody here, you're welcome to stick around until 11:15. You can work on your sim books. If you want to do some work and get that done today, you're welcome to stick around until class. There is another class that comes in after us, just letting you know that. So 11:15, we can stay until 11:15-ish. And you can stick around and do your work. You still got like 20-something minutes. The lesson, Trey, you want to click on the lesson down there for me? The purple lesson. You can all click on the, no, well, go back to Word. You just click, okay. Yeah, so the lesson here, the purple lesson right here, I'm just going to click on that. Okay, you notice there's only one thing to do? You just click Take Lesson. You can all do this at your leisure, but I mean, go ahead and click Take Lesson. It's just one Let Me Try, and that's it. So, yeah, that's in there too. So it's worth 1 point. It's not hard. But there are going to be lessons throughout some of these. So just letting you know that it's there. All right. I'm gonna finish the screen here. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna minimize that so I can finish the screen here. Okay. Well, everybody watching this video, I'm back on now. That's all I have for SIMnet Success Strategies. Again, please do your sim books this week. You don't have to do the lesson. You can do the lesson anytime you want. But the sim books are most important before we do each project. So, everybody, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you on Tuesday. You know what I just realized? I didn't record any of that.